All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, May 6th. We got two NBA playoff games to jump into today. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Knicks taking on the Pacers in Game 1 of this series. Right now, the Knicks 6-point favorites. The total sitting at 217.5. I have a lean on the spread. I have a lean on the total, and then I have two player props that I'm liking as well. We're going to get into all of that in today's video. But as always, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we roll with as our final play. So we're rolling with ourselves. If you do want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, those plays will be listed in the pinned comment. We were traveling, so we did not do any videos yesterday, so no recap to give. Didn't have the best game one. We had two plays, lost both of them in the Minnesota and the Denver game number one, but that video for that game number two, will be in a separate video today, so make sure to go check that out. But nonetheless, guys, go get those hashtag ride of the days in the comments. If you don't know what the ride of the day is, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments, and I'm jumping on board with one person's pick, giving you a shout out, win or loss, in the next video. Also shouting you out over on my Twitter. It'll rotate through here throughout the show, and if you win, we continue to ride with your pick. So get those hashtag ride of the days in the comments. Also, we have a new show slash series coming to the channel where I want to involve you guys. It's going to be more like a podcast format. In the launch episode, we're still working on it, but it's going to involve some of the worst beats for you guys betting of all time. If you don't know what that means, it's pretty much like the worst way to lose a bet, or it was about to hit and then something crazy happened. But leave a voicemail right here, 617-302-6363. You don't have to talk to anyone. It's completely anonymous. Leave a voicemail letting me know your worst beats, and it might make the show, and we're going to react to it. So go ahead and check that out. Again, 617-302-6363. It's just automated. You don't have to talk to anyone or anything like that. But nonetheless, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get rocking and rolling, jumping into this game. So my spread pick and total pick are probably ranked 3 and 4 out of these plays that I like today. I do have two player props that definitely have a strong chance of making its way into being final plays, but nonetheless, we'll go through it all. Like I said, New York sitting as 6-point favorites. That was a hard-fought series against Philadelphia, winning it in 6, and then same thing for Indiana. But what I saw from Indiana was good basketball, but I'm still a little curious as to if Dame was healthy, if Giannis was healthy, all of those factors. Is this Pacers team even making it to this round? I'm not quite sure, so I kind of want to see it before I believe it, per se, which is what we said about Denver taking on Minnesota. I wanted to see Minnesota compete with this Denver team before I can bet on them, which we now saw, which is now, here we go. No holds barred. Let's dive into the series. But for game number one here, I do think that I lean towards the Knicks. I've seen a couple 5.5s floating around, so maybe it's worth, waiting that out. But right now, ESPN Bet has a Knicks minus 5.5 for minus 110 odds. I like that spot. I also do think that this Knicks team has the capability, obviously, of keeping up with the Pacers, and the Pacers are going to push the pace, so no pun intended there, but also when they made that team, they probably had some pun intended. But I'm going to like the over 217.5. Game number one, feeling each other out defensively leads to, in my brain, some transition scoring and everything like that. When it comes to game number 2, 3, 4, they've started to learn what each team does, and the Knicks being so defensive and so sort of hard-nosed, I think will kind of ultimately learn how to stop what the Pacers want to do. But as of right now, I think the Pacers are going to go and try and give you a $110. And if I think the Knicks are going to win this game, they're going to have to score to keep up with them. So again, those are my second to last and last, I guess, leans on this game in terms of confidence. My player props, which we're going to jump into the outlier screen in just a second here, are two plays that I definitely am considering here. So let's go ahead and do that. But again, to recap, side and total, Knicks minus the 5.5, and then a slight lean towards the over. But on the outlier screen here, you'll see a first play on my screen. It's going to be Jalen Brunson under 8.5 assists. First and foremost, Indiana, the number one team in terms of assists allowed to opposing point guards. You like to see that on the season. So from here on, he's hit this in 3 straight games against Indiana, but in 5 straight overall. And if we look at last series, he did have these explosive games, but so far, he's hit the under in just as many games as he's hit the over in the playoffs. And unless he's going to go out there and get a million potential assists, I don't really think that he's going to land on 9 assists. Even in this game, he had 8 potential assists, right? Or 18 potential assists. He ended with 13. That's a crazy ratio. Usually it's half of your potential assists end up as real assists, right? So even in this one, 19, like you're looking at a guy that maybe should have had, right around whatever the math is there, right? Like around 9, maybe 10 assists. Still ended with 12. 13, the other game that he had, he ended with 10, so this should have been like a 7 assist game. So I do think that even these numbers speak to a guy that's going to get 8 or less assists. And for minus 118 odds over on FanDuel, I can't hate that right now. So again, it comes down to volume as well as the Pacers being sneaky really good at preventing point guards from dropping dimes. Do I think Brunson's going to have a bad game, or am I fading Brunson with this? No, like 9 assists is still a lot. And even taking the over 8.5 is plus money. So we're on the favored side of this, right? And if you look at it, DraftKings minus 122, ESPN minus 125, Caesars BetMGM in the minus 130s and minus 145, minus 118 over on FanDuel has some value there as well. So play number 1 in terms of player props, Jalen Brunson under 8.5 assists. And then we're looking at another stud on the other side, looking at an under. I want to look at this a few different ways. Pascal Siakam under 31.5 points, rebounds, and assists, under 24.5 points plus assists, and then potentially under his points plus rebounds as well. And I almost wanted to look at his under rebounds plus assists, but this is a guy that absolutely started off the playoffs in a big way and then kind of faded, right? But head to head here, you could see that he actually did go under in both games since becoming a Pacer against the Knicks here. And rebounds and assists, they're really, really good at preventing when it comes to power forwards, small forwards, wherever you want to classify him as. Points, they're kind of still like upper echelon, but 11th ranked. But I don't necessarily think that he's going to have the best of games here if his track record is any indicator there. So 2 unders we're taking in this spot. If you look at his rebound chances in the last 5 games here, rebound chances 12, 9, 16, 17, 16. But this is when he was kind of going off, right? Last couple games, 9 and 12 rebound chances. Potential assists have been there, but even still, if Siakam gets, 2 assists, I do think it makes it a hell of a lot harder to go out there and grab, to go out there and hit 32 plus points, rebounds, and assists. So he's going to need like 5 assists. If he gets 5 assists, I do think this gets a little bit harder because he's almost overshooting his assist line, which is why I thought about points plus rebounds, because the Knicks are going to play physical and box out. But either way, guys, keep an eye in the pinned comment. That's where we'll break down, I guess, exactly what we're rolling with. Maybe we do kind of mix up in different ways. We split a unit between a couple different plays or anything like that. But always room to add more or change things. That's why I update you guys in the pinned comment. But again, to kind of recap what we're looking at here, Knicks minus the 5.5 now. Do the Pacers have the talent to be able to compete in this series? Yes. I think the Knicks ultimately win this series because they just seem like a team that has a little bit more like we're here type of mentality, whereas the Pacers, I need to see it. They beat a G League Bucks team, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, for them. But either way, I want to see it. So I'm going to go Knicks as well as a slight lean towards the over. But 2 plays that I probably can tell you now are going to be locked in the final plays are that Jalen Brunson play as well as some sort of Siakam under as well. But guys, it's going to wrap for today's video. Make sure you check out the other game video today that we'll be recording and publishing just after this. But without further ado, we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.